I'm Dr. Tom Busey, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about this particular activity that we designed to help improve the grayscale abilities of latent print examiners and trainees. Um, the, the basic idea behind this activity is that we're going to teach your visual system to see through the noise by essentially doing a tracing activity that allows you to sometimes work in very difficult regions with very degraded image detail, but occasionally will allow you to look at a high quality version of that. This was sort of like when you were learning algebra or trigonometry and you're struggling with the math, and you can look in the back of the book sometimes to see the answers to some of the problems. And by doing that, it helped you understand whether you were on the right track, and it essentially helped you learn the math. And this is a similar idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can change the image quality. Right now you're looking at complete noise, so don't try to find an image in here. It's just noise. But what I'm going to do is use the D key, to improve the image quality here. It's going to flicker the first time we go through this just because it's preloading the images. But now as I go back down, you can see how the A key reduces the image quality and the D key increases it. So what we're going to do is start really low, and I want you to increase the image quality until you can just barely begin to see ridge detail. Now it might depend on the quality of your monitor and your experience, but I'm just going to say start right here. This happens to be image layer 7 here. And I'm going to bookmark that by clicking right here. And now I'm going to increase the image quality until I can pretty clearly see the ridges. So there's no ambiguity about where the ridges go, but there's still some noise here. And I'm going to book that mark at the high bookmark. Now, what I'm going to do is start somewhere in the image, and it doesn't really matter where. I'm going to use the Z key to go back to the low quality impression. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to click and drag, and this is going to allow me to start tracing the image. Now I'm going to get to a point here where I don't know where to go next. It might go down like that, it might go up like that. What I'm going to do is momentarily cheat so I can see what the image detail go. Oh, it goes up like that. By flipping back and forth here, I'm teaching my visual system what the image detail looks like when it's embedded in high noise. And I'm doing that by looking at it what it looks like in lesser quality noise. So I'll continue this tracing. It's important though that I trace with the lower image quality here. So I'll trace here, and I can change the opacity here if I don't like it that dark, so I'll kind of reduce the quality there. And then I can actually hold the Q key, and that will, as long as I'm holding that, that will make everything disappear so I can see the image. Let's go back to the low quality version here. Alright, so I'm going to continue the tracing down here. I think that's right. Let me cheat and look at the... Okay, yeah, that looks good. So for me, because I'm not a latent print examiner, I may have set my lower image quality a bit too low. So I'm actually going to increase it a few steps with the D key here, and let's set it to about maybe 9, and I'll reset the lower one. Currently it was at level 7. Lower numbers are lower quality, and we'll click right there. Okay. Now let's do the next ridge up. So I'm going to change the color, and I do that by hitting the 2 key. These aren't actually buttons here, but now I'll trace in orange. So I'll go along here and I'll trace in orange. And I'm really struggling in this section right here, so I'll go back with the X key to my higher quality image, and now I can see that where it actually goes, right up in here. So I'm going to continue to do this. I'll hit the 5 key so I can do it in blue, do the next ridge in blue. So you can think of this activity as kind of like perceptual calisthenics. We're teaching your system to see through the noise by forcing you to work in lower quality impressions, but occasionally allowing you to jump back and do the higher quality impressions here. And you can actually even go higher than this if you want to really check your work. We can go all the way up here and see. Uh-oh, I kind of made a mistake here. Either there's a ridge here. Oh, let me hold the Q key. Oh, okay, I see. There's a little spur that's coming off here that I missed. So let me go back down and with the Z key and see what that looks like under the low quality image. So I guess this right here, if I hit the 3 key, I can paint this in yellow. This is a little spur, it looks like, and if I go back up here, I can see that spur. The Q key makes it go away. I didn't quite get it right. It's actually kind of more here. So if you make a mistake, what you can do is you can hold the press the E key, which now puts you in erase mode, which is shown right here. And now I can go through and I can erase that. Looks like I'm going to have to touch up both the red and the yellow here. So I'll hit the 1 for the red key and retouch up my red, and then the 3 key to do in yellow here. I'll touch this up right there. Okay. Do the next one and make sure I'm in the poor quality. It's easy to get by accident start drawing in the wrong level, because you really want to draw this on the lowest quality impression that you can, because that's really where you're, just like when you're strength training with weights, you want to do the weight that really pushes you, and you want to exercise aerobically to your limits before stopping. The same thing is true with this exercise here. You want the lowest quality image possible, where you can still see rich detail. And you can, of course, still check your work against the full impression here. This is a weird little spur right here, or lake or something like that. So that's basically how this works. So you've got the opacity slider right here. If you don't like what you're doing, you can hit the reset button and start over. You can also, if you don't like the current pen width, you can change that pen width using the W and the S keys. I'll make it bigger here so you can see it does get quite big. There's unfortunately no undo button. If you want to undo something, you have to hit E to go in erase mode, and then you can erase what you did. So that's the way it works. Eventually we may have an actual comparison task, but for now, try this drawing activity, and the things that I want to stress are that you want to be tracing in a image that is as difficult as possible for you, that's right at your limits, and then if you need to, you can hit the X key and bring up the higher quality version, and you can flip back and forth between the two of them. When you're finished with an image, you hit the Done button and it will move on to the next trial, and we'll go ahead and go back down to the lowest quality version here to start out with. When I start a new image, I like to go all the way down to the essentially invisible and then work my way up until I can just barely start seeing image detail, which is probably right around in here. And now I'll set that lower bookmark. I'll go even higher so I can clearly see the ridge detail, although still seeing some noise, and I'll hit the upper bookmark. And then I can start my drawing. Now if you're drawing and nothing happens, it may be that you're in erase mode here. So that says erase mode. That's how I know. I can hit the E key and go back into draw mode. So now I'm drawing. So that's it. That's the way this activity works.